Hello friends, how are you? I hope all of you are doing well. Today in this video, what I'm going to discuss is about the new recent updated syllabus for class 11 mathematics. There's a small confusion with all of us because it's all new. Marking system also has changed, distribution of marks also has changed, question paper pattern also will change. And then unlike other years, it's not going to be 100 anymore full marks, external 100, no, it's going to be 80 and 20 even for class 11. So without further much ado, and then of course I'll be talking about the internal assessment. Now the remaining 20 marks, it is not going to be exactly as it was in class 10. Slight changes are there. This 20 marks is broken apart into 10 plus 5 plus 5. This 10 mark will be about periodic assessment. This 10 marks will be about periodic assessment. So periodic assessment will be in the form of exams or class test. So basically 3 examinations and then or class test. That will depend on generally examinations. So that will depend on the course of the syllabus, and it will be done keeping in mind the board question paper pattern only, so in the form of examination, I guess. So that will be in the form of examinations, and then basically 3 examinations or 3 assessment tests, out of which the best 2 will be taken and averaged into 10 marks. Okay, so maybe the examination may be of 50 marks also, no problem, 50, 50, 50, 150. So the best 2 will be taken, and then that average will be again averaged to 10 marks. Alright, so that will be the periodic assessment. This is going to be, of course, activities. So if you remember in class 10, you have done some activities based, and then of course for that you had a separate textbook, and then you maintained a separate notebook. Now for that notebook, of course, I'll come to the point, but what kind of activities from which book? So now for that, of course, the board has actually given a link where through that link you can go to the NBSE website and then download the PDF file of the mathematics lab manual. So you can go to the link and then download the mathematics lab manual for class 11 NCERT, or you can just type in the keywords NCERT maths lab manual class 11 mathematics. Definitely you will get the PDF file. Okay, but see to it that it's NCERT, okay, not some other sources again, because it definitely it's going to be different. And of course, yes, your teachers also will definitely guide you there. So now, regarding the notebook only, what I understand is you will not be maintaining a notebook here from this year. From what I understand is most probably what will happen is, for the activities generally, for the normal years, of course this is a very unique year, so we will all have to find out our own innovative ways on how to do this activities and all. So that will completely depend on the teacher. But normal years, normally what will happen is maybe you will be doing these activities in one of the class working hours, in one of the class maybe in week 1 class, or that will depend on the teacher on how he manages the classes. So but you will be most probably doing it in the classroom along with the teachers. So during that activity, the teacher will be of course observing your activities, your enthusiasm, how well you participate in the practical activity. The teacher will be guiding you, maybe ask you oral questions, because definitely your practical activity will be conducted only after a chapter is complete. So only after a chapter is complete, your activity will be conducted. So definitely you will be expected to know some basic things. So maybe when you're doing the practical activities, your teacher will just ask you some oral questions, some questions based on why, how, and all. So based on that, he will be assessing you throughout the whole year for all the different activities, where he will be maintaining a record, and that particular 5 marks of course will go to that this 5 marks which is based on activities. Not like class 10 where we used to maintain a particular notebook and then we submit. That will actually go to portfolio. Okay, that should actually go to portfolio. So for activities, generally you will do it along with the teacher in the classes, or depending on the convenience of the class and the teachers, and then from there only the teacher will be assessing you, asking you oral questions, asking your interest, looking at your enthusiasm on doing the practical, your cooperation. So based on that only he will be awarding you the marks, this 5 marks that you have. Okay, so I hope that is understood, right? So once again, I repeat, the teachers along with the students most probably will be doing the activities in the classroom in one of the class working hours, where the teacher will be assessing all the students, asking oral questions, maybe looking at your interest, how you're cooperating, your neatness and all that, and based on that, based on that only this 5 marks will be allotted, not like a separate notebook and then maintain a record and all, no, not like that. Slight change, I believe. So then the next one is an interesting one, that is this portfolio. So actually portfolio is something like a diary, which something like a, what do we call it, a record which we maintain throughout the whole year of how you have been, like everyday recordings. So under this portfolio, this practical activity also will come. This practical activity record may also come. Maybe you might be just, you will be like, whatever activities you do, you will be keeping a record of it, right? You will not be throwing it away, isn't it? So you will be keeping a record of the activities serially, now depending on the date. So where a teacher will sign, your parents may sign, maybe you will also sign. That depends on the teacher, of course. So you will be keeping a record of the practical activities that is done in the school. So that can also be, that will also go to this portfolio, a certain amount of marks, not the full 5 marks. Because there are a lot. Maybe the classwork also will be part of the portfolio, where you will be maintaining a record regarding your classwork. So classwork in the sense, maybe when we do certain exercises, maybe the teacher from an exercise does maybe around about, let's say 7 questions. So the 3 questions you maintain, maybe you do it in a separate notebook or in the same notebook, and then you maintain, and then you get it corrected, the teacher tells you to do it. Something like a homework also, right? So the teacher will be doing, so classworks, problems which are not done in the class, or in other words, homeworks also. So the teacher also will be maintaining a record about that. And so depending on the regularity of submission, neatness, basically on how enthusiastic you have been regarding your classwork throughout the whole year, homework, so that will also go to this portfolio. So from there also your marks will be assessed. And once again, I repeat, recording of activities of course will be done in the portfolio only, no separate notebooks for that. Whatever activities you do, maybe you will just pile it up in the form of a file or whatever. You will just keep the record serially, date, time, signatures of the teachers once it is completed, and so on. And then of course records of classworks, homeworks, and based on like how regularly like you are carrying out the assigned assignments or the assigned tasks, or your impressive work display throughout the whole year in the mathematics class, your teachers will be assessing you in all these factors from a total of 5 marks, and then there are some students actually who are not good in studies, but in the way they represent, maybe they are very good artists, maybe their write is very good. Peer assessment also will be there. Your students also will be given, your friends also will be given a chance. But generally, this 5 marks, of course, I believe only teachers will be awarding these 5 marks. But maybe he can just interact with your peer group, with your friends also. So they will come up to a common conclusion. The teacher being the head, of course, he will come up to a common conclusion, and then maybe you may not be very good in your studies also, but you are very impressive. You have very impressive writing skills. The way you write is very neat, very clean. So because the exam is a separate part, this is a separate part, so I don't think anyone should actually usually that is what happens, but actually that should not happen. Okay, even sometimes we also end up doing that, so it's actually not good. Of course we don't do that in the what I mean is, like, sometimes marks are actually, these internal marks are actually influenced by these external marks. Actually that should not happen. I believe that it's not happening anywhere, but what I mean to say, it should not happen, because like this internal assessment will be completely based on your activities throughout the whole year, on how a student is. For that, of course, 10 marks is there, based on the periodic assessment. But this 5 marks activities, so maybe not very good in studies, but recording, cutting, cooperation with the teacher may be very good, so he might just get the full 5 marks out of there. Portfolio, the teacher student may be very regular in classwork, assignments, maybe very neat and clean. His writing skills, drawing skills, he may be very perfect, maybe exceptional. So these are all these marks which can be awarded to the student, which will complement the marks that he gets in the external marks. So that's what this portfolio means. So a total of 5 marks. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks. So 5 marks means like 4, So someone who is like not very cooperative, not shows any interest. 2 marks means like okay, fair, no, okay, not very bad, not good also. 3 would be like average, average like okay, sometimes, I mean, every time does, but maybe his writing skills are not very good. He's not very neat in writing things. He's not very good in drawing. No, average. Good means like okay, he's good in drawing also. He's good in cooperation also. He's good in his writing skills also. That will be 4 marks. 5 marks will be like excellent, almost perfect. Of course, nobody is perfect. I'm also not a perfect. And being the best is of course always a relative term. That is my opinion. So being the best or being a perfectionist or perfect, this is just a relative term that we use. So nobody is perfect, but of course everybody can be excellent in what we do. So there can be some students who are just very nice in writing. Their handwriting is so good, cooperation is so good, you know, top level every time with the teachers, with his friends. So they will be awarded this full 5 marks. That means excellent in whatever they are doing. Alright, almost perfect. As I repeat, nobody is perfect. We all try to be better, that's all. So this is how the breakup of the internal assessment will be done. So I hope that it is clear to all of you. Definitely I will be of course willing to listen to your queries also. And then of course the marking system, the question paper pattern also, there will be a small change. That is, there will be 8 MCQ questions. Okay, 8 MCQ questions, that is 8 into 1, that will be 8 marks. And then of course there will be again another 8 very short questions, that will be 2 marks. So 8 into 2, that will be of course 16. There will be another 8 short questions, that will be of 4 marks, so that will be 32. And then of course there will be 4 long questions, that will be of 4 long questions, that will be of 6 marks. That's going to be of course 24. So I believe the total is 80, 10, 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be your 80 marks. So 80 marks, that will be your external examinations, and the remaining 20 your internal assessment, which comprises of the periodic assessment, portfolio and the practical activities. So this 20 marks is actually supposed to look into your overall development, into the overall development of a student, on how he came first and in the course of the year, has there been any transformation in that student positively, then give marks. No changes, then of course needs for improvement. So that's how you will be assessed for this internal 20 marks. So that's what it is all about, the new syllabus. So I hope you have all, I could clarify your doubts. From what I know, as I always say, I'm not an expert in what I do, but I'm just trying my best to share with you of what I could understand, so that it may be of some help to many of you. So with that, of course, I would say thank you for listening and looking through the whole video. Looking forward to more videos in the coming days. So alright then, bye bye, see you, take care.